Hi, this is a program I developed earlier in Microsoft Word document. It's a payroll management system. I just want to show it to you guys so that you see how you can make or convert Microsoft Word into an interactive document. So let me start by just entering the name. Let's go for, let's say, Paul Parker, and address Town. Okay. Reference will be generated by the system. Then employee name, let's just call that IJ, and the inner city wages, basic pay, overtime, tax. The system will generate that tax code. That's the tax code. Then we have the postcode and gender, male. Date, system will generate that. Pay period, let's go for 5, the 5th month. And payable tax. Pension will be generated. Student loan will be generated by the system. NI payment will be generated by the system, and NI number there. So all that is left for me to do now is just to click on the add payments right there, guys. That is in Word. The whole system was generated using Microsoft Word. So what I will do now is take it into Microsoft Word, where we will develop another type of this interactive payment management system. So let's do that now. Hi and welcome to Microsoft Word tutorial. In this very session, I'm going to be developing an interactive payroll management system. So we start by going to File. If you don't have your developer menu, go to File, come to Options, Customize Ribbon, and right there make sure your developer menu there is checked. Click on OK. Now come up here and let's go to page layer. Let's set the orientation to landscape. Okay, the next thing is because I'm going to need more room, let's come to the ruler right there and just move all of this up somewhere about that, and the same thing applies to this. Okay, let's repeat the same thing here, and right down here I'm going to need that as well. Need enough room to work. Okay, now let's go to insert. We need some tables there. Let's go for maybe 4 by, or let's go for 8. Yeah, 8. Okay, I don't know, I don't think that will be enough. We might as well just state what we want. So let's come here, pick that 8 columns or maybe 10 columns. We can always cut that off and go for 20 rows right there. The very first column here, I think maybe I should make that where the title will be. Let's add more columns here. Just click in here and just tab. Okay, now here let's merge all of these columns here. We need our title right there. Right click and merge there. Okay, now we're gonna need more rooms to work in there. Right, so the next thing is, now we need a label there. So let's go into the design. Okay, developer, come straight to where it says control, drop that down, select legacy form, and select the tools there. Come right down, select Microsoft Form label, click on OK. Now I have the label there. Select property, and in the property I'm going to change the background of that label. Let's change it to something a little bit darker, and the font, let's change the font color to something lighter. Okay, and the width, Let's change the width, or let's change the font size. The font size we do. Let's change it to about maybe 72. Make that bold. Okay, the next thing is let's change the name, the label. Let's change that very caption to Payroll Management System. There. That's it right there. You might not be able to see it right now. This is there, so let's just drag it along and move this down a little bit, maybe a little bit more. That's fine. Let's close this and just drag it here. Okay, it seems we ran out of space. I think we may have to reduce the size of this very label. So let's do that. Select property, and instead of 60 or 72, let's change that to maybe 60. And there. Let's see how it looks. Yep, that looks a bit much better. Alright. And we even seems to have a little bit of more rooms. Okay, so let's get that centered. Let's look for the alignment. Yeah, that's it right there. Alignment is centered, and the font, that's 60. Let maybe make that 62. Okay. Alright, that's looking good. Now the next thing we do is let's start designing the interface. Okay, there I'm going to enter a label that will say employer, employee name there, and maybe right underneath let's enter address. Come here, enter reference number. Okay, you may have to speed that up. Let's speed that up. Okay, the first column is taken care of, so maybe we just need to make it a little bit bold. Let's just press Ctrl B to make that bold, and I think we should change the fonts as well. I'll go to home and just increase the size of the fonts, maybe 18. Yeah, that's alright. Okay, it's not looking too bad. Alright, the next thing now, I'm going to need some text box. We're going to need a text box, maybe one in here, or we get the text box right in here. It's coming here. Okay, right there. Get a text box there. Okay, come right down, come to Microsoft Form text box. Alright, and just maybe about that. Now we need to increase the font size. Come to the property, let's make that 20 as well. Make it bold 20, and let's copy it and paste it right in here. There's one there, another one here, one here, here, and I think 1 and 2. Yeah, we don't need a text box here. Let's make this one. Okay, that's a text box. One here as well, because we're going to be entering some data in there. And this one right here, we would not, I don't think we would need a text box for that. Let's go for a label there. Okay, let's go to the legacy, and right there that will be Microsoft label right there. Okay, now we have the label in place. Let's increase the font size of that label to 20 as well. Make that bold 20, and maybe find a way to change the appearance. Let's make that border style effects single. Get rid of the content in there. Now I have the label. So the next column here, let's enter in there, or maybe come to this very column. I have more than enough columns here, so I can afford to skip one. That's the whole idea. Make that post, let's call that postcode. Now maybe underneath here, let's call that gender. Make sure it's saved. We go to file and save. Let's save it. Alright, let's come into my area. So right here I'm going to be saving it. Let's just call it payroll, or let's change the save type first to enable macro. Right there. Yeah. Now save. Okay, so the next thing is we want to enter payday here. Pay date. Then here, now let's make this pay date. Then here we need tax period, so I'll just speed that up. Okay, this is how the system looks now. Okay, right underneath here I have Microsoft form buttons. You will get those right in here. Okay, just here. If you come here, click on that, you get your Microsoft form command buttons there. Alright, so all you just need to do is select and click on OK, and that's it right there. So we have one more button here. Let's just save it. Okay, so labels, that's a text box. I have labels here anyway. That's a label and that's a label. So I'm just going to save that, and we'll continue with the rest of the design of the interface. Alright, before we can continue, I think maybe I should merge these rows together. Let's merge it. Okay, so move this up here. Just make room. I think that would be much better, so I can control the movement of this. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to repeat the same thing for the rest, and just let's take it from there and see how it goes. You just do it, and I will speed that up and get back to you guys. Anyway, I think that might be more sensible. Okay, all of the rows are now merged, so I think what I would do next is maybe allocate names to all of these components. So start with that. Now be txt employer's name, and this one will be txt address. So I will speed that up, and then just get back to you guys. So that's reference number. So let's speed that up and get back to you guys. Okay, we finished naming all of these components, so all that is left for us to do now is just finish up all of this design. I've merged this part of the, let me say, of the table, so I'm just going to copy this. Let's copy that and place it in there. So I have that. I'm going to be using that as an output device. Then right below it, let's add a couple of buttons there. I might as well copy this, just bring it in here. Don't be right there. Maybe let's copy some more. So I'm just sort of like going to speed this up a little bit to make it so that we can finish up the design on time. Okay, let me speed it up. The whole idea is just to enter a calculator here somewhere. So I will speed it up now. Okay, we finished the design of the interface, so let's give them a name. Right click on it and select the property. So that will become txt display. So, and this button here, select this, that become CBN7. So the caption, let's change the caption to 7. And this text box, let's enter a 0 there and just align it to the right. This becomes CMD, CMD 8. Let's copy that and change the caption to 8. And here, let's get rid of that. That's 9. Caption become number 9. Then we have 4 here. Caption becomes 4. And 5. Let's go with that 5. We'll just speed that up anyway. That's 5. And that's 5 here. Let's speed it. Okay, the design of the calculator interface is completed. So let's start with the coding. I may have to add 1 or 2 components here, but let's start with the coding first. Double click on that, and right up here I'm going to enter option explicit option explicit, and right underneath here enter as follows. Those are the variables I intend to use, declared already. Now we start with the coding. Let's double click on 7 there. Let's take it up so that you can see it right here. So using an if statement, if txt display dot text equals 0, then because there's a 0, there's an O in there, or is 0 right in there, so that's why I'm calling that. Then we just call this equals 7, change that to 7, then else. Okay, if you want, you can think it's advisable you indent it, else txt display that text equals txt display, and let me use and 7, which means if there's 0 there and there's 7 there, if there's 0 change it to 0, but if there's 7 then you just add 7 to it, then and if. So if I give this a shot, let's go back there and just come to developer there, get rid of this. That means we can start entering our values. You see that, guys? So let's go back. All I just need to do now is copy this and paste it all over. So double click on that, copy. Now let's look for CMD8. There we go. We have 8 here. Let's bring it up a little bit. That's 8. Just paste that in there and change 7 to 8. And I will repeat exactly the same thing for the rest buttons anyway. I'll speed that up and just get back to you guys. Come for 9. I have a 9 here. And repeat the same thing. Paste that in there. Change this to 9. Okay, let's go for 4. Where is 4? Right there. I'm actually dealing with each of the buttons now. That's 4. So I'll just speed up this button. Let's speed up the coding of the buttons, and then I'll get back to you guys. Okay, the coding of the buttons are completed. We have it from, let's get rid of this there. So, okay, we have command 1, command button 2, command button 3, button 4, button 5, exactly the same lines of codes. Button 6, button 7, button 8 and 9. Okay, we are left with button 0. Let's look for that. That's button 0 right there. Just paste that in there. That's button 0. Let's change that to 0. Alright, so what I'm dealing with is all of these buttons. I'm actually coding each of these buttons now. So if I double click on button clear, that's clear right there. Let's bring clear up a bit. Alright, so you guys can see clear. That is clear there. Let's copy this. That is clear. Paste that in there. That's clear, taken care of. Okay, now we need to take care of the operators. Let's come up here and look for CMD plus. That's CMD plus right there. Let's come down here, bring it up, and here, if you guys can still recall, this is those are the variables I intend to use for the calculator from here up here. Okay, I have first number, second number, result and operator. So we'll go back to that very component right here. So I'll enter first number equals display, this very one here. Let's copy that, paste it there. Alright, that means whatever content you enter inside display, alright, is then assigned here. Alright. Then the next thing is this display, clear it, then the operator in this case, that's the spelling, you need to get it right, else you end up with an error. Operator equals, that's the plus sign I intend to use. That's my operator, so that's out of the way, done. So if I copy that now, let's repeat exactly the same thing for, we have division there, paste that in there, change the operator to division. Now let's look for multiplication, repeat exactly the same thing, change the sign to multiplication, and the subtraction, let's bring it up so that you can see it, subtraction right there. Okay, and change that to subtraction. That is, those are all the operators taken care of. Now we now need to take care of the equal sign. That is it right there. Double click on the equals. With the equals, we just need to say second number equals txt display dot text. Okay, if operator, in this case operators, that's what I call it, equals the plus sign, sorry about that, then we have result equals first number plus second number there, and txt display dot text equals result. That's it. So that's for the plus sign. Then let's end if statement there, and let's go for the subtraction and the other operators. So else if, I've already copied that, if the operator in this case is minus, we change that to subtraction. Yeah, and let's indent this, indent. So I'm just going to copy this, copy, paste. That would be for maybe multiplication, and this becomes multiplication as well. And finally we have division, and use this as division. So that's the calculator taken care of, and that from here down here, those are the lines of code for the equals. Okay, so if we go back into our document, Word document, so we can just come to where it says design mode, get rid of that, and we can clear that and maybe try it out. Equals that 9 plus 6, that's what it is. Okay, so the calculator is working as expected, so that's fine, clear. Now let's take care of all of these other ones. That's the big one. So you see where it says add payments. I'm going to double click on that, but before then go back to design mode, double click on that very button right there. Okay, right up there we enter the following lines of codes. So those are the addition code for the pay slip and so on. There they are. Have a good look at it, because if I want to explain this, it's gonna take some time. So just have a good look at it. It's not that difficult. All I'm doing is just assigning values into my variables here, and then all of those variables are then added together and stored inside the gross pay. Then the gross pay is then converted into £. That's all I've done in there. And here you have the tax calculation, and these are the variables that have been assigned into each of these display. Okay, you can see it's L is in label, they're all labels. Right, so then all of the values in here is then converted into £. You can see the format there. Right here, just worked out the deduction, whatever is deducted from his or our pay, and that's the net pay. So that's all I've done there. So have another good look at the code. The total pay rate, or wages, the total wages, shall we call it wages. I'll take it from here down here. Okay, and that is the line of code. So I'm going to save that. Let's go to my system now. Okay, there we go. So the next thing is to just try it out. Let's just click on the design mode. Let's reduce this so that you guys can see the system. So if I sort of like minimize it so that you can see it. If I decide to enter some value in here now, let's say we enter name in there. Let's just say maybe home, address, okay, reference, so on, name, let's just call that Sam, and London wages, salary. Let's come here to the wages itself. Yeah, well paid, overtime. Okay, I can't enter nothing in there. Then the tax code, let's say L P whatever, and then postcode and W, says male, then dates. We're meant to be able to enter date. I think I need to add up one or two things to enter the official date. So let's say period, tax period. This will be the 5th month, and you cannot enter anything to all of these places. So all you just need to do is click on add, and there the NI number. Let's say that's the NI number. See, as you can see, we are able to generate the following information: wage information. That's the tax this guy has to pay, and here that's the gross pay, total deduction, and net pay. Okay, so that's how this system works, but we have a problem. We cannot reset it. We can use the calculator though to do whatever we want to do, but we cannot reset. So we now need to take care of the reset button there. So come up here and stop that. Double click on reset. We need to go back to design mode. Double click on reset, and right there enter the following lines of codes. Alright, so if I come back to the design view here, click on this. Right, I can now click on my reset button. There, you see the reset works. That's it. It's working as expected. So let's save it. So the reset is out of the way, and the add payment is out of the way as well. Okay, what is left now is let's work on these dates and reference, so that this will automatically generate reference number, and the dates will be generated by the system as well. So let's double click on any of these buttons anyway, and we need the document right here. Let's look for document. There we go. So we now come here, check out the method that we're going to be using, or the procedure. Drop this down, and I think we should use open. When the system opens, oh there we go, it's right underneath here. Okay, document to open. I want the following lines of code. I like this one to generate the date while we have our random number right there. So let's save that and go back to the document itself. Okay, now let's get out of this design mode. Right, so we're out of design mode now. I expect it to generate, but nothing is happening. Okay, the other thing we can do is double click on add. We can also use the add to carry out the function. Just paste that in there. So only when we click on add, we will see the date and the random reference number. Okay, so let's delete one of the zeros. Okay, I think that we do. Let me change this to about 5, and yeah, that will do. Let's repeat the same thing for the other one. Let's come into our document. Where's document? And just right there. So let's come to design here and just, okay, we have design, enter some values in there. Let me reduce this so that you can see it. Alright, so this will be the last, and after that maybe I'll just call it the end of this program. Okay, jump, because I jumped straight. Alright, and reference, we leave that alone. Name of employer name as the employer name. and inner city waiting, wages, overtime, tax code as D9. Let's enter something in here, and here we can enter anything, the NI, H0, HO, whatever, and right here, okay, that's the postcode, gender, male, date. I think the system should be able to generate that. Period, that will be 005. So if I click on add parent, there you see reference number generated and date generated. As you guys are aware, we can also use this to carry out some calculations. So with that, guys, I'm going to call it the end of this program. I suppose you guys enjoyed, so you all have a nice day now. Thank you.